Hello, everyone! Get the hell up! Wake up! Welcome back to the frivolity. There's an intro, eh? That'll wake everybody up. Oh God, gonna get a whole bunch of shit over that one. Anyway, all right, welcome back to the frivolity. All the swears and everything. Brian having a crazy old time. Suppose I should back the truck up here. Let's do this all, formal style. We got to be all grown-ups. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Weekend Frivolity, our Broiler Chicken Show. Back. Hope you guys are all enjoying this wonderful 2020 as it plays itself out. Ay, caramba. I'll tell you, they said, they told me years ago this is the biggest Jupiter-Saturn cross in 1623, and you remember the shit hit the fan that year. Here we are. So, anyway, we're coming into this apex. Thank heavens. Hopefully, they always say, right, it's always darkest before the dawn kind of thing. I don't know how long this nonsense goes on for. But I'll tell you, I don't know what the hell the world's going to look like on the other side of this. I'll tell you that much by crackers. Including my own country, too. Very disappointed in what I'm seeing. Unfortunately, I spent a bit of time yesterday getting all wrapped up in the politics of my own personal country. And actually, I even reached out to my local opposition legislature and said, hey, you know what? This has gotten to the point where I have to at least get involved. So I actually reached out to my local progressive conservative constituent and just said, hey, look, I at least, they always say, if you're not part of the problem, how does it go? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And if anything, what I kind of see happening here is almost kind of like voter apathy and people not really standing up in this country and going, hey, enough is enough. This is getting ridiculous. And actually, the policies that he's putting out here of late, now, he really wants an election. He wants to force the opposition's hand because he's putting forth policies that are just absolutely insane and completely not in the populace best interest. He's playing politics. It's brutal. And if anything, he better be careful. He's a fairly young guy. He's not really a career politician. And frankly speaking, I think he might unleash a backstorm against him with some of the policies that he's doing. But that's here nor there. I won't name names. I won't name policies. I'll just say that I'm actually at the point where I want to help my local alternative to this gentleman in the next election, and I think one's coming here in Canada. So, and frankly speaking, I would suggest all of you do the same. That's really, the one power that we have. And actually, I have to hand it to the Americans. I don't know how that all played out. And, of course, that's entirely up to you. But at least you saw the democratic process in process. What I'm a little bit worried about here is how Canadians are very sort of, we'll just do whatever they tell us to do. And you end up getting these despotic people in power here. And the irony of it all is the guy's got a minority government. If anything, he should be like, okay, well, I don't have a mandate. I should just play it cool. What's the best thing for the people in my country? Ugh, this is nuts. Anyway, the funny thing is I keep doing these videos week after week after week with you guys, and I keep saying the same thing. I'm sorry, and I don't think anybody had a crystal ball to predict what the hell was going to happen in this year. So I'm not really really wanting to get into sort of crystal ball prediction kind of shit. Because frankly speaking, I don't think anybody's going to tell you exactly what the hell's going to happen here. And anybody who does, what ends up happening in the prediction game is you get like 100 different people make 100 different predictions. And one or two of them, it turns out that they're right, just, odds of statistics. And all of a sudden, these people walk on water and they know the future and all that shit. And that's not really in your best interest as rational investors. What I want to try and do is teach you guys the process. That's the one gift that I can give all of you. is to teach you the process. And unfortunately, the process right now says, I better leave all this shit alone. Don't touch. Yeah, so with all that said, you're going to go and FOMO buy Bitcoin here? It's up to you. I could tell you, I can't endorse investing in Bitcoin here. I can endorse actually going and seriously considering seeing if you can grab a couple S19 miners, get a fucking mining business going here. I mean, this is free money. So, if you could put yourself into a position to do that, awesome, rocket. Hey, Litecoin's finally going to get above cost of production. Way to go, Charlie! It's a miracle! I still don't quite understand the cost of production model for Ethereum right now, so I'm a little leery. And if I understand correctly, they're going to be moving from proof of work to proof of stake. So I'm sure there's still that sort of uncertainty that's overhanging the Ethereum ecosphere. And then in 5 years, oh Jesus, is that how long it is? Well, Shane, what's the cost of production right now to mine an Ethereum? I mean, Shane, and this is the one thing I love about TRI is, when I sit here and I blab this shit, it's not like I'm sitting here going, Brian says in his great wisdom this, and this. What these videos often end up happening, and it's so cool, is there's sort of like an amalgamation of all the sort of ideas and concepts that we sort of are kicking around on the site right now. Like, for instance, right now we're watching really closely the Ethereum potential empire bottom that's forming and how it looks under different sort of perspectives versus Bitcoin. And what are the sort of implications of that resolution? So, probably a big part of the conversation I'm going to have with you guys is about that, which is nothing more than just sort of a, hey, this member has this perspective and they posted these ideas, and this member has this perspective and they posted these ideas, and Brian sort of comes to sort of a cumulative wholly. Okay, well, I think it's sort of like the consensus of the community is this. So, anyway, let's have some fun here today. I don't know how long I'm going to blab away. It's always entertaining just turning the Brian loose on these weekend shows and seeing what the hell trouble he can get himself into. As you can see on the screen, probably the biggest investment that I've been concentrating on over the past, what year is it? It's 2020. So we started this project in earnest, let's say the beginning of 2000. Good answer, Will. Perfect answer. Perfect. Oh, that was well said. Well said. We started this current project in about, I guess the beginning of 2018. So this is seriously at least a good solid 3 years of work. And keep in mind, Brian's a cheap ass. So as a result, I only want to fund development from revenues in our coffers. I hate debt. I abhor debt. Debt is the whole reason why we're in this stupid fucking mess to begin with. Thank you very much, Ronald Reagan, you stupid Hollywood actor puppet of the banks. It's really sad, I suppose the big warning sign should have been: a Hollywood actor goes to Washington and talks economic policy. Oh, that's going to end well. So, yeah, and of course the funny thing is with the American populace, you say something outrageous like, oh, Ronald Reagan was poor economic policy, and oh my God, you're walking on Abraham Lincoln's grave. How could you? Or spitting on his grave. I would make the argument, of course, I was 10 years old and I watched that market. There were a lot of people in the market in 1980, including my old man who was a big gold bug. Hard money, sound money! Were very, very upset that the powers that be sent us on this course of deficit spending And the tragedy is, guys, you are now living in the end result of these people, quote unquote, mortgaging your grandchildren's future. Well, you are the grandchildren that they mortgaged. Woohoo! Way to go, Grandpa! Way to go, Grandma! Thanks! So, it is what it is. I mean, there, for a small portion of you, it was very fortunate of you to be able to sort of see the forest through the trees and kind of go, you know what, I kind of want to get out of this system. This crazy guy Satoshi's built this algorithm that theoretically keeps everything sort of stable. So if they start depreciating the value of the currency, this thing should go up to offset that depreciation. So way to go, all you Bitcoiners. Unfortunately, historically, they would use assets like gold and silver as those sort of safe havens. But unfortunately, as long as sort of the 1%, the Jekyll Island people control the system, well, they're going to keep a lid on those proxies just so they can keep the game going. So, good old guys like Dav, Scrid jump up and down about how there's more paper gold in the world than there is physical gold, and it's all a fugazi, and to a certain degree, he's right. I think, if anything, that might actually help Bitcoin's case, help a Bitcoin sales pitch, in that, there's only 21 million, there's only 21 million. And it's interesting to watch, these iterations of altcoins and now DeFi, the way they're going to create sort of, that's it, where I'm going, Shane. They're going to try and, there's going to be various different machinations of exchange-traded funds and stuff. I saw this is getting out of control, because now I see in crypto sites like FT, they've got proxies on the stock market. So you could trade stocks through crypto there. Then in crypto, they've got proxies on things like, stable coins and stuff like that. So it's all over the place. And even within crypto, you can actually create other sort of proxies on other cryptos, like the whole DeFi. I don't know. What I did find interesting, and I was actually really pleased, was there is some traction being gained within the sort of public space about clamping down too hard on crypto. So I do like that. There's enough people that have enough vested interest in crypto that I think that the powers that be can't just shit on it. They might try to control it, but I don't think they can break it. And keep in mind, too, I also believe Bitcoin, to a certain degree, is a CIA pet project. So I don't think they actually really want to break it. I think it's an excellent cryptography tool for them, and it's also an excellent way for them to keep track of what the hell's going on in the world. But that's another thing altogether, so... Whoa, look at that YouTube page. Jesus, you guys are all active over there. Jesus, there's a lot of people. Are you guys enjoying my mindless rant here? I haven't even really talked about anything, have I? Brian just comes out and just said, okay, I got to waste everybody's time here. And you guys are all going, okay, when the fuck's he going to get to the goddamn charts? When's he going to get to the charts? I'm sorry. Look at that. Somebody just bailed. So he's like, enough of this nonsense. I'm out of here. I turned all the up and down vote shit off. I don't even want to see any of that crap. I just turned all that off. So anyway. Let's see what you guys are going on about over there. So this Aditya. I've seen this Aditya guy around a bit. For whatever it's worth, we're kind of on Christmas hiatus right now. It's exam season right now around TRI. Oh, appreciate that, Rocker. A lot of people hate my opinions. And remember, have you guys seen it? Have I mentioned a trade through all of this mindless rant? No, I haven't. And that's super important, right? Keep your opinions and your trades completely separate. They're apples and oranges. I think Bitcoin's the next best thing since sliced bread. It's totally awesome. It's going to be our savior. But that's where the opinion ends when it comes to actual money management. Then, okay, I'm actually going to go and invest my money, and I'm going to actually look to make money from trading. Then you put your fucking opinions away and trade your plan. If anything, there's a little piece of value for any of you guys listening. Rants are wonderful, but don't get your fucking money involved in rants. Anyway. One thing I've been saying in my public videos of late that I think is so fucking critically important here, please, everybody, please, 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 please. We in the West, we have this, remember I used to follow this one analyst. Actually, I used to read his newsletter for years before anybody in the public ever commented about him. One gentleman I used to follow, Dennis Gartman, he used to always say, it's not really like we intentionally fuck ourselves up. And actually, I've heard another gentleman, and actually I retweeted his video out today, and I think, frankly speaking, everybody at TRI, this is required watching. You have to watch this. And I actually said, I mean, I don't know how the fuck it is. I don't know why it is, but there's 13,000 of you following me for some reason. But all of you 13,000 people, I even said, you must watch this person's video. I think he's a cute guy. I think he's definitely got an interesting sense of humor. I think there's probably a bunch of people that help him put these videos together. I don't think it's just on his own. If it is just on his own, then fucking hats off to you. So you're a fucking genius putting this all together. But I think it's a team. But this gentleman does a very, very good job of explaining this whole sort of fugazi around this global reset. It's a con, people. Understand that at the end of the day, economics are economics are economics. And what's really fascinating is listening to this gentleman, because he really breaks this shit down. I mean, I'll just sit here and I'll just spout rhetoric this, rhetoric that, right? But he does a very, very good job. And I mean, it's a 40-minute video. George Gammon, you like him, Cheryl? He does a very, very good job in explaining this global reset. And I would suggest you all follow him. Hey, I'm a fan. I follow, I like, I subscribe. I don't know whether he has a Colleen, but he really should get one. Everybody should have a Colleen. And be sure to ring George's Colleen's bell. Anyway, great, really good stuff. So, you know, I think the best line in all of this that comes from Mr. Bigglesworth, you shouldn't let a good opportunity like a COVID virus, you shouldn't let that opportunity slip through your fingers to tighten your control. I thought that was the absolute best line out of all of this. And the problem here is the central banks and the governments, to a certain degree, they all understand that they are technically bankrupt. So, do you either let that system go under and start a new system where, if you are a person in control, you lose that power, you lose that influence? Or do you finesse the system to keep the fugazi going? And I get the distinct impression that governments, and this is where it gets scary for free speech out there, everybody, but governments and the 1%, listening to that fucking idiot over there, no offense, I apologize, actually technically he's supposed to be my king coming down the road, Charles, say quite publicly, we should use all the levers possible to make sure our desired outcome comes to be. He even said it right in his public video. Watch this guy's video. He shows it. And the fundamental problem here, and this is me to you as a guy who fancies himself an economist, you will never have government-run programs lead to growth. It's impossible. The only way you get growth is through productivity. The only way you get productivity is through incentivization. I mean, fuck, I went to the BC liquor store yesterday. Had to stand there in line, government-run agency, had to stand there in line while the monkeys are sitting in line with their masks on, being very well-behaved robots, while this one attendant, why don't they have more employees on? They even called the liquor store essential services. Come on. One attendant sit there and hum Christmas carols to herself. And, oh, as people are waiting in line, oh, well, how are you doing? What's your plan? Just stunning inefficiencies. Just stunning. And, of course, nobody's incentivized to change that. So, again, as Mr. Economist, the authority, I'll default to him because, I'm just an idiot. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I'll listen, watch his video. I know there's about 1,000 people that watch this video on a weekly basis. It's pretty fucking cool. I'm asking you as a favor to Brian, go and watch this gentleman's video, and more importantly, share it with a friend, because this shit has to get viral. The only way the message gets out is if you and I, as public participants in our society, actually speak up. And actually do something, say something. That's the only way we affect change. You want to force the CCP out of power? It's simple. Every single person in North America just stand up and say, we will not buy any products made in a communist dictatorship. Done. It's simple. It's as simple as that. It's so fucking simple. It's just that, Klaus and his idiots want you to believe that it's beyond your power. And that's nonsense. And we know. The cool part about it is history already has wonderful examples. We know firsthand, we have historical examples that central planned societies and economies do not work. They don't work. Sure, yeah, I'll give you, Jeff, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do one better. We'll click on the link.
Elites, great reason.
We will grab the link. And we will post it right here. Bam. There you go. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. I'm sorry, people. I know this is terrible. It's economics, okay? So we're not talking politics here. We are talking economics. What was that? You want me to try and explain this shit to you? Okay, Brian, I can sit there and listen to his rhetoric, but can you maybe just explain what he's saying? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Will. I'm sorry. It's just, this is, it's pretty damn big. I mean, this is so huge. And the problem is, people, we have to stand up. And we have to, your voice has to be heard. That I guarantee you, if the politicians hear your voice, this will change. But if they don't hear your voice, nothing will change, and the people that are in power will continue this. Like I said, I reached out to my progressive conservative candidate today, actually over the weekend, and I said, enough is enough. I have to get involved. I don't want to be elected. I don't want any position. I don't want to be a part of it. But I have to be part of the solution. And that's a message to each and every one of you. You have to be part of the solution. Anyway. Wow. Holy moly. What a rant. Certainly didn't expect that. Sorry, everybody. I have to apologize on these videos. God, Brian, you nut. All right. So, you look at that image. And, this is half of the reason why I built this website. Is I would like to have tools that can have me properly positioned in the market at any given point in time. Keep in mind, the market will always exist, and I think that there, if anything, the irony of it all is if Mr. Biden is confirmed as president, what we really should see is the right wing has to get the vote out in Georgia. and make sure that the Senate stays in the Republicans' hands. If it does, then it's just more of the same. If anything, that's beautiful for you guys. Bitcoin, $100,000, $200,000. Awesome. 200,000? Let's say $500,000. I mean, is it gonna cost $50 to buy a loaf of bread at the gas station? Probably. But what the hell? Bitcoin $1 million. Bitcoin $1 million. If we see that the political situation in the United States is so disjointed that indeed these right-wing politicians are run out of the state of Georgia in their Senate elections in January, then capitalism could go through a couple years of pretty nasty action. The interesting thing is, I don't think the market will go anywhere. You could very easily see prices come off a big chunk. And of course, I will use this tool to be hunting short ideas. And of course, the market is made up of both risk-on assets and risk-off assets. So clearly, if we go in a risk-off and, stocks collapse, commodity prices collapse, international currencies collapse, which I could very easily see. And actually, that reminds me, that's another economic thing I could talk to you guys about, but I don't know why I probably talk too much economics here. But if that's the case, then things like bonds will do well, and bond ETFs and all those, and of course U.S. dollar index itself should do pretty well. So there will be long bets, and of course I think Bitcoin could probably do pretty well. So point here is that we've built this tool now, and I tell you, this tool here will take us from $1 million company to $1 billion company. I don't even know whether I even really want, big sales and shills to the public and stuff. I'm talking about our ability to outperform the market and just kill the fucking market. And we've got enough capital to work with on our own. Hell, we had a warrant, a stupid warrant. It went 10x on Friday, which is so funny. So there's more money out there for us to collect than we'll ever need, and now we have just an incredibly powerful tool to really focus that firepower and to focus our community too. Because I expect that everybody in our community to take full advantage of this tool and just own the market. So I gotta tell you, I'm very proud of my business partners. We've been extremely patient. It's been very difficult. Because Brian is a cheap ass, I don't want to go into debt to get this funded and built. We had a very small team, and we just kept working away, and it looks like we're getting really close to the finish line here. I'm super, super excited. So, as I said just a moment ago, we do have our school term is on hiatus right now. They're on exam break, and then, of course, Christmas. So good luck to students in your respective classes and levels. Remember, the exams aren't designed to fail you. They're just simply designed to make sure that you paid attention and took good notes. If you did pay attention and took good notes, you'll walk through the exam. Special shout out to level 3ers. I want to see you get those veteran tags. We already have had someone already submit their final. Gave a pretty good outing. Evan. I think he's going to be one of our TRI OGs. Solid performer, and very proud of his hard work. I don't want to see the rest of you slack off. So show me lots of veteran tags. I love handing out those veteran tags. New school term, actually I was actually surprised at how I don't really like doing these what's it called, Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff, but man, so many of you people were chomping on the bit. I don't even think we even do a sales campaign in January when the new school term starts. So I'll leave that for David. That's, David runs those campaigns, and he'll probably find a whole bunch more people. But, you guys in the public have clearly said that you like what we do here, and you've basically given us the green light to continue this project. So we'll just keep continuing the education program as long as there's demand for it. If you guys want help building those plans, and talk to our site OGs and see what kind of change we made in their lives to get an idea of what we do here. Totally awesome. That's what we're here, right? PMA for the win. Want to make a positive difference in your life. Okay, so kind of a heavy market. This is classic risk proxy, S&P 500. I wouldn't mind, down the road I'll get this as the whole universe to get a bigger sort of picture of the entire capital markets. But right now, just looking at the S&P 500 stock market, we're looking a bit heavy. There is a bit of a rotation going on. And I don't know whether the U.S. market is waiting for potential legislation to come down the pike out of the U.S. to try and keep the Fugazi going. And we might actually get in a situation which would be actually music to everybody's ears if you're a U.S. dollar bull. That maybe the U.S. just doesn't do another stimulus program. That would be awesome. Of course, the economy would collapse again. But if that stimulus package does come down the pike, and I think it will, then we probably see risk have another bump up higher here. And then also, there you go. So Will says another better part of $1 trillion is coming down the pike here. So there's a number of U.S. government programs that were all actually going to have their funding stop at the year end. And I don't think the politicians were really going to be prepared for that. So that doesn't surprise me. What's kind of cool about that, though, is that, of course, we have our Jupiter-Saturn event, December 23rd. So, the pump is still primed for higher prices in all of these risk assets. They got a head of steam. Interesting how the corn's kind of floundering here a bit. But they still got a pretty good head of steam behind them. I see that the bonds have caught a bit of a bid here. That's interesting. The one thing probably that disturbs me is the strength in the yen here. But I've been sort of thinking the whole way along here that our sort of cycle apex is this. Where's the best place to show this? Is that I think it was this page I had them all on. That Jupiter Saturn cross. Oh boy. And what I do like here, I wouldn't even be surprised if there's one more push higher here. And I do like that. I like to follow this funny relationship of Earth, Venus, and Uranus. And when it makes odd angular relationships that Mr. Gann was a fan of, funny things happen on planet Earth. So I do find it interesting that we have this big honking celestial event pivot. Christmas. I think people are going to be a little bit, sort of, okay, let's take a step back maybe a little bit, sort of reassess life, all that kind of stuff. We have a big tax selling event window. You listen to that gentleman, that economist that I told you about his video. It seems to me that the higher-ups are expecting an increase in the capital gains tax for 2021 down in the United States. So there's lots of justification for them to bid risk asset prices up into that event, sell into that event, so that they don't have to worry about capital gains implications down the road. And then maybe when the whole fucking market washes back out, and the politicians will be like, oh, we're so sorry, we didn't mean to raise capital gains, to support the market, we're going to give you a big tax cut because we're so nice. And all of a sudden the market bottoms, the capitalists come back in at the original tax rate and say, okay, fine, we'll go in and we'll invest in your equity again. Oh, geez, this sounds awfully familiar. I mean, it's kind of comical how cliche all this is. But the point of the matter here is this market's getting freaking risky. And the writing's on the walls. It doesn't matter whether it's U.S. dollar. They're just giving it away right now, which is a classic risk on proxy. Or whether it's things like the stock market at near all-time highs. Again, this kind of stuff. Or whether it's, the oil market. Now, why the hell? I mean, everybody's buying an electric car, aren't they? Does it really make sense why oil prices are rallying here? I thought everybody hates oil now. I don't know. Again, I think this is more just sort of the end of this cycle, blow off top, orgy of risk, blah, 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 blah. Hate needed oil. Well, maybe. Let's see. Where should we go next? So, be careful around these celestial events. Clearly, and very few watching this video were probably even alive in the last one that this happened. But my hunch is, everybody's sort of freaking out, all in unison. I mean, I hate to say it, but there's supposed to be a big sort of event in the United States coming up tomorrow or the next day. And then you saw the rallies and stuff that happened in the U.S. Capitol over the weekend, and actually a bunch of people were seriously hurt. Could this turn into a tumultuous event window? I think so. I don't know whether it's actually really in your best interest to try and connect the stock market and asset prices and stuff with what's around this Jupiter-Saturn cross event. I'd almost be inclined just to leave things alone. And the irony of it all is, I think I've said this to you guys before, we all know this is a V bottom. So at some point down the road, this goddamn low is going to have to be tested. I mean, it is interesting. We do have this wide W here. And on an adjusted M2 adjusted basis, this might be our base. So that would be something like... where are we here? I got you around here somewhere. And now M2 adjusted. Here we go. Yeah. So there is the low from March. They do all the fucking Fakese quantitative easing, and that's where we are now. So really, on balance, I mean, could we come around and just swim around this area for a while? Sure. Wouldn't surprise me. Looking at this, it could work its way a little bit higher here too. But I think that's basically our trading range for the next probably, maybe 5 years or so, 5-10 years. And the weird part about this, right, is that if you take out the quantitative easing, really this economy's going nowhere. And we're nowhere near the old sort of dot-com boom highs. Yeah, there you go, Jeff. Actually, you're a pretty typical audience. So there's actually your real economy. And actually, I should share this chart with that gentleman, that video I'd like you all to watch. Because if you actually look at this chart and ask yourself about our economy and stock market and how are people doing, how are people feeling over the past 10, 20 years, I think this actually describes our economy very, very well. We haven't even really recovered from the dot-com crash yet. It's fascinating, eh? So, if the 1% can pull off the Fakese, maybe they crank taxes up. They continue quantitative easing. I've called it Japanification. I fully expect that to happen. I don't see any reason why not. Increase regulation, actually shift us to using these Fed coins. So basically they can track every single penny in the economy and make damn sure that you're taxed on every single penny. I think that, what'll end up happening is over the next 5 years, we'll probably have to go through the economic tumult and a lot of wrangling back and forth. But at some point, this millennial generation will just accept reality and we'll start the next growth cycle. This is, ironically enough, this is stunningly cliche. You want to see this in history? The exact same thing happened. You can go back and look at, this is the Great Depression. Does this image look slightly familiar? So, here's 9/11, right? And then there's quantitative easing, 2008. And then, in this particular case in the 1930s, of course, the federal government, sort of moving towards that big brother, trying to control society. What do? They say, you're not allowed to invest in gold. You're only allowed to invest in our greenback currency that's completely controlled by the bankers. So in essence, boom, they've locked you in. Way to go. Now, sadly, of course, this go around, they're probably going to do it to us through these digital currencies. And it's going to be a very efficient way that you are either part of the system or you are outside the system. At least, in the 20th century, you could use physical currency to sort of skirt in and out of the system. I don't think you're going to be given that choice in the future. And of course, everything will be tracked. Hey, welcome to the future. Like I said, I still think Bitcoin is a CIA pet project. Keep in mind, George Bush Sr. and his whole family, of course, were deeply in the CIA. So you might argue that actually the Bushes are probably long a shitload of Bitcoin. It wouldn't surprise me. As part of the 1%. I mean, I told you, I showed everybody graphically exactly the point where the 1% said we're all in on Bitcoin. And the only reason why it was so obvious is they would never come out and publicly say that they bought. The only reason why they did that was to just basically mark, okay, look at, we have an official reference. This is where the 1% says we're long. Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting. You know, there was I mean, I don't know whether I really want to go down the whole China fucking rabbit hole here nonsense, but it is interesting. I get the impression that the public isn't really told the whole story of how closely intertwined the U.S. government and the Chinese government are. Keep in mind, in 2000, you know, that was this event right here. In 2000, the U.S. and the whole U.S. economy, the whole fucking capitalist system was faced with a serious problem, and it was structural, and everybody in Washington and everybody probably higher ups in Wall Street and shit, they all knew the problem. And the question was, how the fuck do we get from here over to here? And, you know, you see the path that we took. You know, they had to dilute the shit out of the currency. They had to bid commodity prices up to ridiculous levels, right? I mean, you all lived it. Where was I going with that thought? Somebody said something that triggered that thought in the what do you got here? Oh yeah, that's right, with China and all that shit. I thought it was really interesting that, do you know what the major solution was for the United States of America through this period and this demographic nightmare problem? It was to go and artificially prop up the Chinese economy. So I don't know how deep the U.S. goes with China. I thought it was interesting that through here and this whole China coronavirus and all that kind of nonsense, well, not nonsense, sorry. There was this very brief period where China sort of got like a public backbone and actually started to be a little bitchy with the West, and they called it like wolf diplomacy or something like that. Does anybody remember what the name of that is? Wolf something. China wolf something. But they said a statement. One day, one guy said a statement which I didn't understand. And I don't know whether he was actually supposed to make that statement or not, but he said, paraphrasing, the United States of America should be quiet, or we will publicly disclose information that will be extremely humiliating to them. That's an odd statement for somebody to make on an international stage. You don't know whether it's rhetoric or not, but I just don't know how deep the wolf warrior diplomacy. Yeah, thanks, Will. I don't know how deep the U.S. and China ties go. I really don't. I do find it fascinating here in Canada, for example, that we have two citizens here who are pretty much being illegally held in jail. They're being held as hostages because, you know, the Chinese believe that Canada, and as a puppet of the United States, is holding one of its citizens as hostage. And yet, what's really interesting is within the diplomatic circles, they're all supposed to ignore that. And they're supposed to play like, oh, everything's fine. I mean, clearly there are other things going on here that the public just simply is not being made aware of, which is, you know, pretty depressing. More a Klaus kind of talk, I suppose. Anyway, so there is our reality, our economic reality. I think that's an excellent image. I hope all you level oneers, you really got that message. You know, what does a greed cycle look like? What does a fear cycle look like? We'll know that this next greed cycle, you can see the breakout here, probably corresponds with this breakout here. You'll know that the next greed cycle starts in earnest when we're through these levels. It's actually really simple. Isn't that cool? I mean, it's really simple. You want to see the historical comparison? You know, you just go look at the Great Depression. Same thing. So go back to the Great Depression. The next greed cycle, right? So this was the greed cycle. This was the fear cycle. The next greed cycle starts on a structural breakout through that resistance level. It's the same thing. You know, I can sit here and talk for like maybe an hour or two, politics, this, rhetoric, that, and then I'll just sneak in maybe about 10, 20 seconds of something that's actually of value to you. Yeah, so the bottom line here is what is going to drive this? I hate to say it, but it's all the shit that Klaus wants. It's all the, removing inefficiency from the capitalist system by putting everything on the blockchain. I'll tell you, that alone within the financial services sector, within the banking sector, within the insurance sector, within the stock trading sector is going to drive just insane profit margins. Yeah, it's interesting. Bugra here in the lounge is taking the complete contrarian approach. What a great time to be alive. Isn't that fascinating? I mean, in a weird sort of way, you get wrapped up in Klaus, you get wrapped up in the two Michaels, you get wrapped up in orange toupees, you get wrapped up in cerveza sickness, and you go, oh my God, it's so depressing. This is the end of the world. And yet the irony of it all is that the 1%, they're actually getting ready for this. And in a weird sort of way, by them depressing the shit out of all the rest of us, they're enticing us to sell and get out and run for the hills. Go and buy your gold. Bury your head in the sand. Get your shotgun, right? It's ironic. Welcome to capitalism. So, it's actually a really good testament. If you don't want to listen to Brian, this fucking idiot, Jesus, he just keeps blabbing away. On the Twitter feed, we put out, actually, this is a really good time for everybody to do a refresher on who am I thinking of? Let's see if any of you can read my mind. Gentlemen, very sedate. Bitcoin enthusiast, institutional advisor. Anybody know where I'm going? No, he's not. He's not an institutional advisor. He's a goddamn fucking robber baron. Close. Interesting. Good direction. But I'm talking about somebody that Wall Street actually likes. And your ex-wife. Okay, well, I'm not going to touch that one. Anybody? Maybe that was a little too vague. Let's see if I can narrow it down. He is a really big fan of demographics. And I'm talking about somebody who can speak to Wall Street, can go into corporate boardrooms, not some, crypto kid. No, Jamie Dimon does not. I don't think Papaya is respected enough to go into boardrooms. I think he'll go on social media and stuff. No, he's another one of those robber barons. Yeah. He'll take your money. He's not going to advise you. No, he's a super nice guy. This is kind of cool. This is a fun little, I'm just wasting everybody's time. I got, I got 2 hours until Liam, so I'm not really in a big hurry. It's interesting how all of you guys have forgotten about him. Because he's probably sitting there making the exact same pitch every single day, the entire time Bitcoin's been going through its entire correction here. And, of course, at the top of the market last cycle, he was on fucking CNBC every day. Oh, my God, you walk on water. But this is exactly his market. Nope. Nope. No, nobody can remember him. That's shocking. That's an interesting tell. Dude, look at everybody. You guys are shooting marks all over the place. Should I give you another hint? No, Charlie's a robber baron. He's not going to help you. Oh, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Maybe I'll, let's see if, Joe Rogan. How about if I go, fund strat? Does that sound at all familiar? Oh, there, I just gave you the fucking answer. There we go. So, interestingly enough, this gentleman, he actually, well, I tried to give you another clue, but it gave you the answer. But this gentleman here, back in 2017, he completely laid out the future for Bitcoin and the economy and how Bitcoin can grow. You don't like him? Oh, that's too bad. Unfortunately, of course, I don't think he's actually a very good market timer. And a lot of people, unfortunately, got really hurt by just sort of, hey, Bitcoin's the future, and this guy says it's to buy. Awesome. But do yourself a favor, and I should probably go through his feed. I did tweet out all this kind of stuff, but he did a really, really great demographic analysis of, what does it say? Do we have the Chicken Show link yet? Jesus, I've been blabbing away for a while. You're itchy man. Thanks, Stevie. Appreciate it. Fun strat. Jarrett. Uh-oh. You're going to hell. Anyway, he did a really, really, if you have to go back maybe 2 years, he probably is not even really that interested in Bitcoin anymore, but he did a beautiful study of demographics, money flows, how the millennial generation as they grow up, and bless your hearts, you guys are, crypto fans, stuff like that, you're on the inside, but you have to understand, most of your generation, they haven't got a fucking clue what Bitcoin is, or, it's this thing out on the internet, right, whatever. Not nearly as much of an intimate knowledge as you guys have, and, with regard to altcoins and stuff like that, the public doesn't know anything about any of this shit right now. The crypto enthusiasts, obviously, they're there. I did notice, speaking of crypto enthusiasts, I know when the market's getting hot, when site members change their names from farmers to astronauts. That's a perfect analogy of actually the smart money getting pretty fucking excited. Now, I think when we start hearing the public start going astronaut, and then we know it's over, right? Then he's probably cashing out and he's going back and planting his new crop. But officially on TRI, our farmer just turned astronaut. So, duding around in his fucking Porsche like a badass farmer he is. You know who you are. So, you want like you want a textbook, Wall Street corporate presentation. What is the $1 billion fund flows doing? Go look at Thomas, and maybe I'll dig up that old presentation you did on the corn just to remind you of what he's thinking going forward. Also, too, and this was a tweet that I put out recently. Remember, how does that future growth cycle look? I think it's going to look a hell of a lot like this. No. Well, probably to a certain degree. No, I think it's going to look like, where are we here? I was sitting there humming to myself in the liquor store, and the cashier, I was next in line, and finally I get to the front, and she's like, "Oh, what Christmas jingle are you humming?" And I go, like, total straight face, I go, The hurry up and get me the hell out of here song. You know it? Oh, no, you wouldn't know it, would you? I'm such a jerk. Anyway. Where did that video go? Man, it was so cool. Yeah, this one. Kathy Woods. So, you want to know what that future growth cycle is going to look like? Yeah, I know. And then she started picking her nose. Yeah. Hey, did you say he? You have to refer to me as a they, please. If you're gonna go use that reference. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm wasting everybody's time. Kathy here, I think she does an excellent job. You want to try and see what this growth cycle is going to look like, where you want to have your money working, what screeners you should build fundamental wise. My hunches, this isn't a bad place to start. And actually, I tell a lot of level oneers, part of this strategic planning module, it's so important, is you should just sit and take some time one day. Just say, okay, today I'm going to think about the future. What the fuck is the future going to look like? And just map it out a little bit. You'd be surprised if you just map things out. Then you go, okay, well, kind of cool. I kind of want to try and find 3D printing companies to invest in. I want to find drone companies that I can invest in. There was one fucking drone stock that we bought a year or two ago, and it literally made people's fortunes, like absolute fortunes. What was the name of that stock? I remember Jesse James was in it. The goddamn stock went just fucking straight up. Oh boy, here's what it says. LOL, I like you more now that you are a jerk to idiots. Okay. I gotta show that message. There you go. Well, thank you, Milano. I don't know whether I'm a jerk to idiots or a jerk to jerks or an idiot to jerks or an idiot to idiots. But I try my best. So. You guys enjoying the edutainment today? You getting your money's worth? So, I mean, it's so funny. What the hell's that name of that stupid Jaffe? I don't even know what the hell these things do. But, you know, our TRIers were such fucking kick-ass traders. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a COVID-related name or something like that. But I'm not here to fucking predict the future. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. But all I want to try and do is try and see if I can identify these kind of situations. I mean, W's and all that. I mean, look at this. I mean, that's ridiculous. Anybody figure out what the hell these guys do? Actually, Kevin just left. He's the one guy who would know. But I think they're in the the COVID business. I don't know. But how many of these kind of trades do you have to have where you're like, okay, enough of these political nonsense. It doesn't really make a difference to me at the end of the day. The people that you really have to feel sort of empathetic for are the people that don't know how to take advantage of this. There will be fortunes made. Klaus, as that gentleman said in his video, and please understand this. This is humanity 101? Well, that's because this is after hours, Colleen. During market hours, I got a partial fill here. So the question is, where the fuck do I get filled on Monday? And everybody's on the site's going, oh, hey, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I don't know. Just fucking leave your order working and let's see what happens. Are you really going to bitch that you didn't make money? I think you'll do fine, Andre. I think you'll do fine. So, that gentleman that did that video that I really, really would like all of you to watch, he highlighted a absolute pure truth about this human species. Nobody is here out of true altruism. Especially somebody who says, well, we're doing a global reset to make things fairer and to balance. Don't get sucked into that. That's rhetoric. That's trying to appeal to your emotional side, and it's a trap. If anything, what I would prefer you do is try and learn this shit, then go make a shitload of money. Then you want to go make a positive change in this world? Awesome. Go spend your money on making a positive difference. I hate to say it, this is a brutal reality, and it's a terrible truth about our society. You ready? You want another horrible rant? Here it comes. Yeah, I mean, they might. I mean, awesome. As a capitalist here, I'm not really, the irony of all for a guy like me is I don't care. Put the sticker over this. It doesn't mean anything to me. Put the sticker over this stuff. It doesn't mean anything to me. What I care about is all this kind of stuff, and what I'm really doing, of course, you all know this, is I'm actually trading human behavior. So this is kind of like, oh, fuck, everything's shitty. Oh, no, it's pretty good. Oh, no, everything's shitty. Oh, no, it's pretty good. So when it's sort of like the W is, oh, shit. Oh, good. Oh, shit. Oh, good. Oh, actually, this is good. I want to identify this point where the oh, gooders overwhelm the oh, shitters. And that's really all I do as a technician. Does that make sense? Can you see that in glorious Technicolor? Down here, right? I'm sure if you asked 10 people about this, they would go, this thing's a piece of garbage. But, okay, fine. I'm just going to watch your human emotions. And as you change your mind from this is a piece of garbage to actually it's half decent, I want to try and sneak in right there. If I can do that, fucking A. That's my job as a trader. Anyway, www, buy the something. I was going to drop a big bombshell. What the fuck was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Back in explain to us so that a 2-year-old can understand it. Oh, okay. Oh, I'll try. Oh, hopefully I'm doing a good job. I see you around pretty often here, Kevin Stewart, so I hope you appreciate what I'm trying to do here. Here's an excellent testament to our society and why socialism doesn't work. In 2001, of course, we had a horrendous disaster in which a whole bunch of firefighters actually lost their lives, which really sucks. Do you see how that could be an emotional trigger for people? And do you understand how a whole bunch of firefighters could be an emotional trigger for people? It's really important to understand that emotional trigger, that's huge. So, are there people that are going to take advantage of that emotional trigger? Yeah. Now, here's how this sad capitalist, quasi-socialist system that works. There are charitable organizations that could take advantage of this situation to help further their revenue base. And at the end of the day, they say, oh, well, we're doing good, so, it's a good thing. But they have to somehow get to the people to make the donations. So they contract out a company, and the contracted company explicitly says that for every dollar that we raise, we are going to keep 33 cents on the dollar for fees, administration. So what ends up happening is somebody called up out of the blue, and of course it's some monkey just reading a script on some, completely automated telephone bank system. These people are desperate for money. They're usually jobs that are like part-time. They're highly transient, no benefits whatsoever. And of course, if you don't produce, get the fuck out. So, highly commissioned, incentivized productivity. Somebody gets a call. Would you like to donate to the firefighters fund? 9/11. We're working with the Red Cross. I mean, the script is laid out beautifully. So the person on the other end of the phone goes, oh, yeah, I'll be more than happy to donate. And at the end of the day, Red Cross at best gets 66 cents of that dollar raised. And then, of course, Red Cross has all of its bureaucratic administration. So what ends up happening is that about 10 cents of that dollar that was raised through the direct appeal to the public actually makes it to somebody who actually needs help. That is the, and I might argue that Klaus is doing exactly the same. Is that the environment, your sense of fairness, the sense of inequality, and then of course pandemic. He even said it himself. Don't let a good opportunity like this pandemic slip through our fingers. This is such an awesome opportunity. Oh, Jesus H. Christ. What a fucker. So, the whole thing smacks. Now, let's say you put $500 into an idea that you're running your own plan, and it's your own trade setup, and, whatever stock you buy, and then boom, you go make a pile of money. Could you not take that profit and just simply walk down to the street, see some guy who's hungry on the side of the road, and say, hey, here's a cheeseburger? Or, I thought it was really cool. There was a judge, I watched this judge in Rhode Island where people are fans of this judge, and they literally send money into him and say, I don't want the money to go into the system. If you happen to see somebody that needs help and maybe, they have a fine or something that they can't really afford to pay, put that money towards that fine for me. And that's fucking cool. That's like they literally made that illegal here. Oh, really? Well, this is a judge, so I'm not quite sure how they did that. But in Texas, they made that illegal. You can be charged and fined for providing food to homeless camps in Houston. Wow, that's brutal. Yeah. I can't really comment on that. So, it's really your choice. You can take the easy route, and some person's going to prospect you. Think of the government. Hey, we'll take care of you. We'll do. But understand, there is a huge cost. And usually, remember, humans don't do anything for free. So Klaus and his buddies, they're not doing this for free for you. There is some sort of ulterior motive here. Be aware of that. And what really bothered me was, Charlie over there in the UK saying it's imperative that we use every lever possible to affect our desired outcome here. So they are going to hit every emotional button on you that they can hit. The simple solution to this, like here in my country, a whole bunch of people got encouraged to take free money from the government. And now the government is actually turning around and demanding some of that money back. What the fuck? I mean, talk about instilling lack of confidence, lack of support, lack of empathy. I tell you, as a Canadian, I sure hope there are other Canadians out there listening to this. I'm a little disappointed in what's happened in this country here, guys. I really am. I'm a little disappointed. Anyway. Okay, so somebody put a timer on that. I think that was about a full hour of... Holy shit, this guy sure is full of hot air. Okay, let's talk Bitcoin. Bitcoin! What should we talk about? I as a stock market person, I do like to follow the exchange traded funds. So it's interesting to keep an eye. I don't know why this is my stock market thing. I don't know why that changed. Silly. Where is my fun little watch list? And I love this on, somebody was asking, actually, oh, that's not it. Somebody was asking recently, Brian, can you make some sense of your watch list for us? I don't know what the hell it is you're looking at. And Kevin showed me this. Thank you so much, Kevin. You fucking rock. You killer all-star dude of the century. Was this July, wasn't it? Oh, something like that. Where the hell did I put that? I think I got too many watch lists here. What did I do with it? Can't remember what I named it. So I'm a little surprised that... There it is. Personal portfolio. So, what do we got here? And keep in mind, too, if the socialists do come piling in here, woo-hoo-hoo, the capitalists are going to get the fuck out of the stock market. Sweet. Be aware of that, everyone. All right, so crypto stocks. Let's go take a look at what they look like. Oh, actually, and we got the crypto ETF, so why don't we start there? So stock market people, this is the comment that I put out last Friday. Just sort of saying that it looked to me like we had a trading range established here. So that meant that we could very easily, bottom end of the range against these lows. This is a 38.2 off of the entire range. If we look at the history of this ETF. So it should be key support. And, classic sort of, we can't decide what the fate of the market is until 38.2 is resolved. Hopefully everybody can see that, gee whiz, this kind of looks like a big honking head and shoulders. Right? There's 38.2 off of the entire range. So that's what I think's kind of going on the corn here in the stock market. This is a Canadian listed ETF priced in US dollars. So, could the Canadian dollar go zooming around here and affect the price of this asset? Sure. So just be aware that there is that currency implication as well. But for all intents and purposes, classic, perfect, all level oneers just finished the level 1 course. Perfect analogy of you got to wait for 38.2 to resolve itself. And we might, you never know, 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. We might go and W out here and woohoo! There we go. Obviously, we can't go backwards in time, but I think you guys get the idea. Whoops. Let's get rid of that. So, this might turn into a very bullish breakout. It's totally possible. And of course, we've enjoyed a nice little rally in the corn through the weekend, bringing us, this ETF will probably work its way back up into reload short zones. And to all intents and purposes, anybody trading the stock market, I'm just sort of saying, we got to wait for this to resolve. Whichever way this does resolve, that's the direction we go. And, Brian, right? None of this should be rocket science. You see where we last W'd. You can see where my bids are working. You can see where reload zones are. Don't be shocked. This is so cliche, it's ridiculous. I just don't know whether this is going to resolve bullishly, which means we'll have to adjust all our levels higher here, or whether, and my hunch is this resolves, this is some sort of top, and then we have to spend the next year or two cleaning all this up. So, be forewarned, that's sort of my big institutional player kind of commentary here. Are prices expensive for Bitcoin right now? I'm sorry, folks. I can't bullshit you. I really can't. In my opinion, for whatever it's worth, I believe Bitcoin is expensive. But so fucking what? Doesn't mean anything. All it should mean to Brian and Brian's plan is I can't invest in this asset here. There might be trades, like hell, fucking prop traders, day traders. You got to be in and out of the market before in the market opening bell, ding, 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 and out by the end of the bell. You see the volatility in this one candle alone. Could you have gotten in at the opening bell and out by the end of this bell and made some money? I think so. So it's not like that's just one approach to trading. But let's call a spade, folks. And, it's interesting. On the site, I have put out public appeals. Can anybody find me an S19? Because if you can find me an S19, I want to go into the business of mining this shit. That's a pretty damn big profit margin. I mean, it's just that simple. And FYI, a couple of my buddies that I work with are like, yeah, we can do that. So, I mean, to me, that's got a lot of profit. Now, the only problem is, what's the distance between the day that you actually mine and get your coins and the day you can actually sell them? And I might argue that a really smart strategy here would just simply go and mine your fucking Bitcoins and buy these puts way up top here. And then that way you have your sales locked in. But, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, there are a lot of businesses. I mean, you tell me, anybody in the airline industry, the people in the airline industry right now, are they enjoying a 273% profit margin? Can anybody tell me what the profit margins that the airlines actually run on? Well, you think about that, and I'd like to see some answers over on YouTube. I'm going to fill my coffee up. Ah, shitty! Damn it! Hate when that happens. I gotta get a new coffee pot. Hey Shane, you want to get something for me for Christmas? Buy me a coffee pot. I'm still using the one my mother bought me when JoJo passed. Caramba. Alright, well, that was fun. Sorry about that, everybody. Airlines run at about 2 to 3% profit margin. I mean, it's insane how thin their profit margins are. So, good, yeah, good. And I suppose some of the discount airlines are a little bit better. Shane says average margin is 9%. I suppose that depends on if they forward sold their crude costs, their fuel costs. Anyway, point of the matter here is, what do you think? Can you see? Can anybody? I came almost now. Lost something interesting. GPVK. GPVKING number 45. Jeez, there's a lot of you guys around. I have a bad habit of just standing up and going and filling up my coffee cup when I feel like it when I do these videos. So you might find that there's like a 1 or 2 minute pause. Where'd the guy go? Hey, what's he doing? Anyway, so simple message here is huge profit margins for the miners. And you need to understand, anybody that's sort of like, hey, I'm going to come in here and invest in Bitcoins and I'm going to get rich. You have to understand that from Bitcoin's perspective, this is from Bitcoin. I don't give a fuck about a human being. This is from Bitcoin's perspective. It doesn't care what the price of it is right now. It doesn't care. But what it does care about is this one thing cannot be able to happen. So if you can understand what that one thing is that cannot happen to Bitcoin, then you understand what its one vulnerability is. If you understand that one vulnerability, then you'll understand where it's actually a good time to actually seriously get interested in investing in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin itself has a vested interest in defending itself. So let's say, anybody know what that reference is? Ah, Dave. You're so quick. I don't know whether I know you, Dave Edison, but damn, that was fast. I don't even think I got the question out. So, it wouldn't be a good idea to buy BTC mining stocks. You would think, Steve? I have one stock and now I've got 2 free positions on it. But I have this one stock that you would think these people should be making money fucking hand over fist. And I can't figure out why the stock isn't rallying. So, I'm right there with you, Steve. And, this is kind of a situation where maybe you ask yourself, is the market not pricing in? And maybe this is an opportunity. Maybe the stock's trading at a discount. And when the market wakes up, i.e. value investing, fundamental vesting, when the market wakes up and goes, holy shit, these guys mine Bitcoins? Boom! Stock goes fucking apeshit. And I wouldn't be surprised if this stock does go apeshit. So, and now I've got 2 free positions established on it, so I'm super stoked. For TRI too, because I did this as a perfect example. Now that's interesting. Who said that? Was that Shane? Somebody said something. Shane says, also theories of 21% attack. Methinks we have to have a conversation about that. Do you want to come on tomorrow in the Daily Brief and we'll chat about that? Your views intrigue me. I wish to subscribe to your newsletter. The only problem is, I don't think Shane knows what a newsletter is. Maybe if I want to subscribe to your podcast, maybe he might understand that. His blog. Maybe I'll subscribe to his blog. Poddings. Is that what they're called now? Poddings? That would be perfect for Klaus. Klaus would love you in your little podding, Shane. You just go into your little podding and you do exactly as you're told. Oh, Jesus. Klaus. Scare the hell out of me. What's happened to my little... I'm looking on the wrong damn side. All right. Okay, so point of the matter with all of this, hopefully you can understand, is I don't look at Bitcoin as a fundamental investment, okay? I hope we get that across nice and clear. And the last thing I'll say is when you see cute little sexy girls getting into elevators with operators of these cryptocurrency exchanges, and they start gushing about them and how hot and sexy they are, that is a major warning sign. You are being played. Just be forewarned, okay? Actually, I have to say I was pretty pleased to see the way that Ethereum here actually produced, I think, a very typical trade setup for the kids on the site through the weekend. I get the impression, though, that setup is kind of played out. We kind of, we sort of dissected the setup through the morning. And how the levels came in and stuff through the lounge here today. I was kind of MIA yesterday. And because the school's out right now, I'm kind of MIA the whole time. I'm just sort of face down in a ditch most days. I'll turn on the computer at the beginning of the day, and if I happen to bang out a double or a triple or a quadruple, okay, fine. I guess I'll do some business. But I'm not really too aggressively doing anything through all this nonsense. Actually, now it's got to be 10x. And actually, even the little cryptocurrencies, some of the ones, we had a most beautiful presentation by one of our site OGs about, I don't know, about a month or so ago. And when I looked at the idea, I mean, I was already interested because it's a fun, sort of sentimental name in the space. But when I looked at the idea when Jamie came on and did his presentation, and he goes, guys, I've done some fundamental analysis and I'm actually pretty stoked about library credits right now. And I went, you are? And he went through his presentation. I was like, fuck it, just buy it. Gotta buy it, gotta buy it, gotta buy it. I don't care. Just gotta buy it. And of course, actually, it's a pretty good location. He told me, is this got any room to move up? Blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, this, if anything, I hate to say it, people, this is a perfect analogy of this fucking Jupiter-Saturn nonsense. I mean, are assets really supposed to go up like 5, 10x in one day? I mean, come on. It drives you nuts. So, take advantage of this. There's nothing wrong with taking advantage of other people's weakness. Take advantage of their emotions. Take advantage of their FOMO. But don't get sucked into it. And for God's sakes, if you do buy an asset, if you do buy a W, if you do see it rally, please pay yourself. Because you might just find like this screen, it just comes right back down and you're like, oh shit, I totally missed an opportunity. This is a tough business, people. And if you're here to make money from trading this shit, you have to be insanely disciplined. You have to be disciplined. I may never see this selling level again. I don't know. It's brutal reality of capitalism. But long and short of it here is if I didn't act there, if I didn't have my plan set, if I didn't do what I was supposed to do according to my plan, I'd be just looking at this going, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Oh, fuck me. And if you really want to make money from trading, I mean, if you're really serious about this, it sucks, but you have to be perfect. It's Klauses that are going to tell you, look, you can't be perfect. You're not that good. It's okay. Go and play in the fields. Okay, you want to live that life? Fine. You want to break those shackles? You want to go to Davos and throw a fucking pie in Klaus's face when he gets up on the stage? I mean, technically you could go make $1 million in the market, go buy one of their overpriced garbage seats, go to the conference, have a nice, or maybe, how about maybe we should, remember that used item that we had from, was it Friday's Daily Brief? There was a used item that we were kind of talking about that was sticking out of a guy's back pocket. Do you guys remember that? Probably you people on YouTube have no idea what I'm talking about. There's no reason why you can't go to Davos and throw that in his face, So, the point here, though, is if you really want to make money from trading, you want to break those shackles, you want to get free, you want to fucking go make a pile of money, right? And tell all these stupid government people, look, I'll pay your taxes, but fuck you, I'm not towing the line. Okay, fine, you can do it, but you have to be good. You can't half-ass this shit. You have to be crisp. We build all the tools on the site to get you to that. What am I supposed to be looking for? How am I supposed to be behaving? How do I set myself up to be crisp? To hit that sell button when your level comes in. Right? So, that, if anything, it's probably better that I don't blow smoke up your ass. Let's just be completely blunt about this. A big part of the reason why I do these public rants is because I love the sound of my own voice. Oh, no, wait a minute. A big part of this reason why I do these public videos is I would like to show you that you can make money from trading, and I would like to encourage you to come and join our community. I'm not going to bullshit you. As Mr. Economy video told you, nobody works for free in this world. But at the same time, too, I think we provide good value. So I like that. So. Okay, what do I say about the corn here? Told you about the ETF. Here's a name that I really like. This is actually versus US dollars. This is a name I've been buying. I mean, you're welcome to buy it. You're welcome to tell me to go to hell. I don't care. And of course, remember everybody. In fact, actually, the only reason why I'm even talking about this because it's on the screen. We should probably just get the hell out of there. I'm never gonna tell you what to buy. I never, ever, ever, ever. I'll tell you what I'm doing with my money. I would like to try and help you so you can make reasoned decisions on your own, but I'm not gonna tell you what to buy and sell. You know that. Over the short term, this is kind of the charts I've been banging around on the site as I've been checking in sort of through the past few days. Because this is our Jupiter-Saturn cross here, biggest one since 1623, obviously having a very dramatic effect on our little human species. As we work our way higher, it feels as though we're moving along this sort of Gann bull cycle. And I do find it fascinating that, if you learn how to draw these levels, I think this one Gann angle has been a pretty darn powerful reference point for us the whole way along here. So I don't see any reason why we can't tag that level again. It seems perfectly logical. Also, too, interesting that this support line, you can see this is also a Gann angle. So this is coming off of the original bottom way back when. So I've highlighted that triangle. So you can see that we're basically in this quadrant, which technically means that if we can, it's interesting how we talked about whether the market could accept above this angle and accept into that big purple box up there. Clearly it couldn't. But here we go again. We're going to test that big angle again. And if we can accept above there, well, you can see there's a bit of room up here for exploration. So who knows? We'll see what happens. As a trader, and especially coming in, I'm a little worried. What I saw happen here was this low was basically put in on December 10th, right through the London kill zone. So, we pull up the 10th. Where the hell's the 10th? That was Thursday. So, in essence, this is Thursday, then Friday morning. There's New York kill zone. So, that's Friday. They basically put a bottom in the corn through these 2 days. Could they, and then keep in mind, market's been closed, Wall Street's going to come back. Obviously, this market is going to gap higher from where they took the market out on Friday. Could we be a little bit vulnerable here to the downside? I don't see any Gann angles to support us. The next Gann angle's down here. We got this original trend line off of these peaks that also seems to correspond to that level there. One thing I will say, and this is quite shocking, is you tell me, does that profile to you, does that profile look full or does that profile look empty, kind of full of holes? Oh, Steven! Jesus, free money just sitting there. Yeah, well, probably Thanksgiving meal, eh? Here was U.S. Thanksgiving. So Wall Street just feasted. They're still full after Thanksgiving. That profile looks pretty damn full. I mean, damn. You don't see profiles look like that. You want to... there's a guy, and I keep making reference to him, and I think he made a fortune on library credits, so good for you, sir. But he's done some fantastic notes. You want to add into the volume profile part of your notes, what does a full profile look like? Well, it sure looks a hell of a lot like that. That's pretty damn full. So this thing, to me, looks like it's getting ready for something. I don't know what, but it's getting ready for something. It was interesting too, if this is a classic setup that we teach at this site from my prop firm trading days called the Hogue 80% trade, and that's this guy down here, good old Johnny Hoagland. where he basically says, look, if the market leaves value, and probably better if we zoom in so you can see the range. So in this particular case, like if we looked at here, bear with me here, right? We're below value. You see how we're below value here? So if we dip down below value and then we turn around and we accept back into value, then who can tell me? What's the percentage of time we should expect the market to actually trade right back up to this level up here? And it's a pretty big number. So, you know, I don't know. Any of you guys on YouTube, there's 90 people over there. Hello, all you. What is it we're trying to do as chart watchers? What's the whole point of this? Maybe I should ask that question first. Oh, did I? Yeah, I already gave the answer away. Well, no wonder Dave got it right. Oh, sorry, Dave. That's not very nice of me. I'm going to, nope, Adam, wrong! Look at the guy above you. I'm going to fill my coffee up now. It's 12:30. I better get the fuck out of here. How long have I been talking? Talk about things you like to do. If you don't have a dream, then you can't have a dream. Alright, what's the answer? Half the move in half the time. No, actually, it's weird, Adam. Like I said, this is and it's a concept that we teach in our education program. It turns out that actually the market will, if it can accept back into value, it will actually revisit value high 80% of the time. That's a big number, right? And the question ultimately is, for you guys, why are you here? Why are you watching these price charts? Why are you listening to this idiot? I mean, the whole reason why you're actually interested in this stuff is one word and one word only. Uh-oh, here we go. Shane's chopping wood? Well, yes and no. Starts with an E. I mean, there's really only one reason why you do look at all these damn charts. And if you were a pit trader and you were tasked to trade the market every single day of the week, the answer I'm looking for is edge. Now, would a rule that says, well, 80% of the time, if we accept back into value, we head and tag the other side of value. 80% of the time. Is that a bit of an edge? And that's the whole reason why you're here. So I would suggest writing that down. Hint, hint, hint. It's probably a question on the final exam. So you could see, play it out over time. That's basically what this image is. So, when I posted this on the site, and, this is the cool part about it too. This is another great little piece of learning, right? What's the one word that we're looking for that we want to see all of our tools all do this and give us the same message? What do we call that? All saying, hey, you probably ought to pay attention here. Anybody on YouTube? How about Kevin? You should know the answer to this. Starts with a C. This is actually where all the viewers drop off. This son of a bitch is going to make me work. God damn it. Hey, Colleen. Colleen, of course. You are awesome. You get this, and it's so great that you get this shit, man. Oh, no, not divergence. That's the last thing we want to say. We want to see Confluence. Confluence. Thank you, Adam. Now, in our level 1 program, we teach fib levels. What do you think about that counter trend rally? Does it make sense why the market stopped where it did? Is there some sort of concept Brian uses with Fibonacci levels? Can you see where the volume profile? Do you see the top of value? Do you actually see Mr. Hoagland taking profits on this rally exactly where he was supposed to take profits? Like, I hate to say it, but almost cliche. If you don't see this stuff and you would like to try and add these edges to your trading, that's what our education program is all about. I can't sit here and teach you, okay, first do this, then do that, do that. I can't do it through these free videos, but I can show you. This, to me, was an absolute textbook Hoag 80% value trade. Absolutely textbook. And what I'm worried about is they put this bottom in through Thursday, Friday morning. They pump it up. Who's buying through this? Maybe I should ask the question, are banks open on the weekend? Do you see the potential trap being laid here? I hope you guys get this message. Right? I'm not saying Bitcoin's a buy. I'm not saying Bitcoin's a sell. But I am saying if I was interested in strapping shorts on or even letting some Bitcoin go, that is one hell of a level. And it should fully explain why you see price stalling out exactly where it is. Whether you take the trade off of this image or not, hopefully you learn to sort of see, okay, well, actually, price is actually acting incredibly normal here. There isn't really anything out of the ordinary. I mean, what do we say? How often do markets range? Anyone? About, maybe I should rephrase that. About how much of the time should this market be expected to do this? Maybe that's a better way to say it. Thank you. Dave, you are the man. Say hi to Benj for me, please. So, Raul, do you see how maybe your peers here could help you? I mean, like, you're here to learn, right? So now, Raul, the next time I ask this question, I expect to see 70 to 80% of the time. And you need to learn this, Raul. You need to learn it. Same thing with you. Dear D. Bourne, you're on the site all the time. So, point of the matter here is actually what we're seeing out of price action is actually pretty normal. It's not really out of the ordinary. And what I'm worried about for the crypto kids is be careful. This is what's called a V bottom, right? So V bottoms, by definition, should be tested, right? What is a really sexy hot bottom, right? It should look. Now, this is one thing that really bothers me here. Notice this clothesline here is actually lower than this clothesline. And now you can see it here. This clothesline is lower than this clothesline. This stinks. Something's not right about this image here. And again, remember, look at December fucking 27th, biggest Jupiter Saturn cross in 1623. Ah! Be careful here, please, people. Please be careful. Anyway. So, those people playing the corn here through this event, it makes sense to me that we stalled out here. I don't like the trap that they've laid here against Mountain Man here. I wouldn't be surprised if they wash value another time, but at the same time too, profile is pretty damn full. So maybe this consolidation is just, you can see the consolidation's underway as it's happening now. Maybe it's just something really quick and then woohoo, away we go. I don't like how this Gann angle here was not tagged through this. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually are creating a liquidity pool right up there. My hunch is the 1% is going to run those stops. We'll see. A little bit early for me to get aggressively thinking short. Of course, you know me, I like my M's. So ideally what I'd like to see here is give me something that looks like that. Then I can go, oh yeah, looks like we're done, right? Kind of like what you saw here, up, down, up. See that? And this is what you should expect on the other side. So we're not really there yet. There's still a lot of work that still needs to be done here if this is actually a top. And you can see the band. You know, this is basically our range. I guess to finish off this video, or at least my commentary here, I actually expect us to go up through the top here. And that's sort of this kind of conversation. There. I was given this wonderful gift back, actually beginning of this year. Clued into chaos theory, finally understood it. And actually really cool. Our site members actually broke down the Fibonacci sequence. And I'm a big fan of extensions, which are nothing more than a mathematical interpretation of the Fibonacci sequence. And it turns out that these chaos levels are also another mathematical interpretation of Fibonacci sequence. So in a weird sort of way, you know, Feigenbaum, Fibs, fractals, Mandelbrot, they're actually all connected. So go figure. Anyway, point here is that I have three very distinct levels that I would expect to be hit, all in their outright, you know, completely on their own. But the fact that all three of them are in such close proximity is that C word that I asked you guys all to recite back to me a few minutes ago. So because there are so many important levels up here that I think cannot not be hit, I actually don't think it's a good idea for anybody to like call tops ahead of this Jupiter-Saturn event and ahead of these levels getting hit. I think you're just asking for trouble. Having said that, more than happy to start accumulating puts, thinking out sort of this time, what does next summer look like in the corn? So I am expecting that kind of action on the other side of this event. But into this event, all bets are off. I have no fucking clue what's going to happen here. And it could get absolutely insane. That's just me, just one technician's just giving you the straight goods. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass. Now, this is the image that you all have been waiting for. You ready? Here it comes. Everybody circle around. Boom. I mean, I don't know how insane the orgy gets, but I will say that I've been playing this game long enough. I don't think it's in anybody's best interest to get into the business of predicting the future. It's a mug's game. You're just asking for trouble. So what we'll do is we'll just simply apply some of the tools that are suggested that if this thing really wants to get going and these W's want to play themselves out, well, the energy, I mean, keep in mind, these W's, it took a very, very long time to develop. Just think of all the hearts that were broken and stomped on and all the dreams that were crushed through this consolidation. All that energy gets translated once we leave these zones. So that's I would feel very comfortable if somebody said, well, Brian, give me a 3 to 5 year prediction of where you think these assets are going. Believe it or not, I would have no problem giving them that image. It's a pretty straightforward image. And it's probably our future. No guarantees on the management. And of course, Brian's just edutainment. That should get a whole bunch of upvotes. It is what it is. The only problem here is, if you come and buy here, where do you have to be perfectly comfortable seeing this price trade to? You know how W's work. You see how big it is. So you have to be able to be totally comfortable with risking all the way down to there. This isn't a trade I would ever do. But it is what it is. Buying puts and stuff like that. My hunch is into these moving averages. That's probably your support zone, right? And there's those 12,000 puts that I have, and Shane wants to buy the 14,000 puts. So I like that. It makes sense to me. That's that other side of this Jupiter-Saturn cross event kind of idea. Totally logical. Where this top is here in the near term, I haven't got a fucking clue. I really don't know. I don't think it's in your best interest to plan for this. Just know ultimately down the road that based on price action, this is where the corn wants to go. And what I do find interesting is using that exact same logic off of Ethereum. I do find it fascinating that really what Ethereum's saying is it wants to go back up and it wants to tag that candle body high. And you've probably heard Brian talk about candle body highs before. And just like the corn had to come up and test its old all-time highs, it's exactly the same logic there. Once we get up into that area on Ethereum, though, all of the energy that was built up through this consolidation will be dissipated. And, the sad part about it is guess who's going to be coming in and buying Ethereum here, looking for that next leg higher, right? And, of course, that's the public, so... Anyway, I would imagine probably if we did a study of Charlie, he looks quite similar. And Charlie even came out and publicly said he expected his coin to be at new highs in a year or two. So that's sort of that same kind of thinking. I mean, it should be very bullish for anybody who's long crypto. Enjoy the ride. Of course, this is everything that we talked about. The only problem I have here is this really Bitcoin so valuable? Or is it that, well, okay, you got to go to the gas station, you got to go to the grocery store, get a loaf of bread, it's going to cost you $100. My hunch is Bitcoin will be this price. And my hunch is a loaf of bread is going to probably double, triple in price too. So at the end of the day, it's actually just a big zero-sum game. It is a good way to hedge. You can offset having to pay that higher price for the loaf of bread with all the wonderful money that you think you've made in Bitcoin, but really it's just a zero-sum game. So, or get to know a girl who has, we'll call it personal freshness issues. And on that note, maybe that joke went right by his share. I don't know. All right. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. Hope I gave you something to think about. I've been blabbing away here for about an hour and a half. Don't know what else I can really add to the equation. I mean, you can see the image. This is a great example. You're long. Awesome. You're not long. You missed the boat. And you just got to be patient and disciplined and wait for the next bus, which will probably be along in about 10-15 minutes, as we say. All right, everybody, have yourselves a great rest of your day. Sure hope you got some value out of all that. Maybe check out the site, 30-day trial. Come and listen to Shane's presentation, 30-day trial. Come and listen to Shane's presentation on the, what'd you say, a 21% attack now? That's something I've never heard about before. Wish Liam, oh my goodness. I mean, I haven't even told you guys about the challenges Liam and I have right now. You can imagine Liam is living this long-term care facility life that we hear about with all of these older people in nursing homes. They also live in long-term care facilities. So you can just imagine what I'm personally going through, and I don't even download any of that shit on you guys. So PMA for the win. Wish me luck with Liam. Let's all try and get through this. I said this in previous videos. Every single video I'm going to have to say this. It is incumbent, if you are watching this video, it is incumbent on you to stand up for your freedom of speech, to stand up for your freedom to be able to do these kind of things like YouTube videos. It is incumbent on you to keep your democratically elected politicians accountable. The only people that can hold these people to account is us. But you have to be proactive, and maybe that means you have to get off your butt, go down to the local opposition politician's office and say, hey, I'm here to volunteer to try and make a positive difference in this world. I don't know. But the only way that's going to make any change is us, you and I. We have to stand up and we have to say, look, enough is enough. And if we don't, I guarantee you, the totalitarian dictators will take over. They will make that decision for us. And once that decision has been made, the only thing we have to look at is a gun in our faces. Seriously, people. Rubber's hitting the road here. Do you really value your freedom? I do mine. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.